See that? Wet. One over here too. Big wet spot. See any fresh tracks? Because that water didn't come from nowhere. Good morning.
Morning. Jared convinced me to catch dirty pike. So that's what we're eating for breakfast, the dirty pike. Big dirty pike.
Probably, oh, you've got the net.
Without it snapping my line. Got no leader on. There we go.
Oh, jumper.
I let him jump. That was a free jump. Go for another run. There she goes.
Try and keep us off the rocks here. And film at the same time on a tree.
Doesn't want to go in the net.
That's weird.
What's the fish want to go in the net for?
He heard you talking about breakfast.
Yeah, I'm running out of time on this line without the leader. Alright, let's see if we can do it this time. There we go.
There he is.
There's a big dirty pike for breakfast, Jeremy.
Woo!
Well, finally.
Yeah.
I say finally because we've been working hard for this Laker. Just contemplating how to cook this pike. Whether we're going to use... Oh no! No! It broke off.
Oh.
It broke off. Shoot!
Dude,
I blame the pike.
You should have put new line on there.
A whole new thing?
Oh.
I did break off a foot of it to do the pike. Dang it.
Well, we're on a good drift anyway. Maybe we'll have to do it twice. It's the baddest bandana in the backwoods.
Whoa, go back. Ready?
Yeah. Fold it over twice. You can use it as a tump line to carry heavy loads. Looks like it's lunchtime for everybody. Cool. What are we doing? Stretching?
Fixing my posture.
Good?
Yep.
Fixed?
Fixed.
Cool. So we're having our lunch break. We didn't have breakfast really. We went out and fished until noon and caught this pike. So this is just a quick clip to show that
I caught the dirty pike.
He didn't want to, but he did it.
I had to eat fish this morning.
Yeah.
Didn't look like the lake trout was going to work.
No. No. Chris missed one lake trout. We had it on, he had it on for a little bit and then it broke the line. So Chris did a whole video about cooking up this pike in ringolos, crushed down ringolos. So if you want to pop over to his channel, you can see that video there. We're gonna have our lunch, rice and pike, and then we're gonna get into some more fishing. So follow along. I am shortly going to start in on a Voyageur supper. It needs a bit of pre-soaking, so I'm gonna put that together.
That's a surprise.
Yep. Some stuff that we've been carrying around for 7 days. Because day 7 now. We have a couple days left. I've got some lentils, yellow lentils. We're going to rinse those, get the dust out of them, and then we'll leave them to soak for a few hours and we'll cook them this evening. And I got some cured bacon. So
right.
at the grocery store they told me had to be refrigerated. And I kind of looked at it. It's like a dry bacon. It's got salt in it.
Been out for 7 days.
It's been out for 7 days.
Longer.
So
we drove here too.
That's all. That's correct. We drove here for 2 days.
9 days.
And one of those days the air conditioning wasn't working. So it's 9-day-old.
It's not working out here either.
So this is going to be aged bacon pea soup. And what are the chances that the audience can see that rice in your beard? No, what are the chances that, it's on this side here, it's lodged. No, it's gonna fall back in the other rice. Don't do that.
Oh, it did too.
Oh, come on, you better eat that. What
I don't know
are
which
the
one.
chances we're gonna have some fish to go with supper? That's what I was trying to say.
I don't know which rice particle it is.
Ah,
probably that one.
They all look the same, eh?
Probably that one.
Hopefully.
My beard's clean.
So, follow along. Okay. So, I wanted to put together a traditional meal. Alright. I think I stirred up a bunch of ants. Put together a traditional meal. Because we had a bit of a theme of traveling back in time here in Woodland, Caribou Provincial Park. And what I brought were some yellow split peas, you might call these. They're a lentil. And the nice thing about lentils is that, although they're pretty high in carbs, you also get a fair bit of protein in them, and they're pretty calorie dense for their weight. So I'm just going to add these to a cooking pan, and we want to soak them for, you could soak them overnight is probably ideal. It's just past noon right now, so I'm going to soak these until maybe 5 o'clock, and then we'll cook them. Pretty important step is to rinse them first. So add some water, make yourself a stir stick, and just give them a little stir around, and you'll notice that, see, the water is getting kind of cloudy. Just getting some of the dusty particles out of the lentils. I think if you do this too long, then you're just probably washing the starches out, which you might not really care to do. Just gonna pour that off without losing them. Woo! And then add water to cover, and just let them sit. And then we'll check back in on them in 5 hours or so. I thought you might be interested to know what I brought with me for batteries and power systems to power my camera, which is the main power hog on this trip. But a couple other devices that were useful or important for us to have. So first I'll show you what I've got that's using power, and then I'll show you what I brought to supply that power. Mostly I've gotten away from devices that have single-use batteries. However, I did bring a GPS unit, and it takes AA batteries. I haven't even turned this on yet. The maps that were supplied to us by Red Lake Outfitters were good. They're easy to follow, and so I have not had to turn this on yet, and I probably won't at this point in the trip. So that so far has been a dead weight. I also have a spot device. So this is Red Lake Outfitters spot device. It's a way for us to check in with Harlan at Red Lake Outfitters, so he always knows where we are, and we can send for help if we need it. This device uses AAA batteries. I brought extra AAA batteries, which probably weren't necessary, but I also brought a cable. You can plug this into a USB power device and then run it straight off of that device, which I have, and I'll show it to you in a minute. I have also with me my phone, and I have not turned it on yet. The only reason I would turn it on at this point is if I forgot which day it was, I know what day it is by the numbers, but I might have lost track of which day it was in the week. But so far I've been able to remember all that. So the phone is turned off, and there is no cell signal out here at all anyway. Okay, so it's just there, maybe even just as a backup camera, for example. If anything, heaven forbid, should happen to my main camera. And I also have this Fitbit, which I've been wearing all day, every day, and I charged it once yesterday. So, and I've got my camera, which is filming obviously, so you can't see it. My camera has a small battery, and I purchased one of these big backup batteries. These are a couple of $100s, and I was worried about not having enough battery power between the small one and the big one, but I didn't want to spend the money on extra batteries because it might cost me $500 for 2 more, or $700 or $800 if I bought 3 more. So I went with an alternate system instead, and I'll show you that. This, in this hard case here, is a 10,000 milliamp power bank. I can charge 2 USB devices at a time on this. I charged my Fitbit up the other day, and it didn't even draw it down 1 button from, or 1 bar from full power. I can also power my phone off of this. And my other device that I forgot to mention is I have this Night Eyes LED flashlight, and it has a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and it charges off of a USB device. So it doesn't need spare batteries, but you need to have a power bank to charge it up. Okay, so those are all the devices. The system that I'm using to charge my camera, which charges from a wall plug, is that I'm hauling around these 40 volt lithium ion batteries. They have 5 amp hours each. These are Greenworks brand. Canadian Tire carries these, and they are heavy. I've been charging from one. I've charged my camera battery twice off of one, and it's down to half power. So basically I've been carrying around this heavy battery for the whole trip, and I won't end up using it. My axe is 3 pounds. I think this battery is maybe 3.5. So they're heavy. They're adding a lot to my weight, but what they meant is they saved me from spending $500 or $700 on camera batteries. So the Greenworks brand, like, I would basically plug this into my lawnmower or my whippersnipper because they're cordless. But I have this power inverter, so I can just plug this in, and then I can plug an AC device into here, or 2 USB devices, turn it on, and it powers. The problem with this system is I noticed that it drains down if you leave it plugged into the inverter, even if you don't have something charging in it, or if you've plugged something in and it charges to full. There's a little fan in the back of this that keeps running, and so when I'm not using it, I always make sure that I disconnect it. So you can see that powering devices on this trip resulted in a significant extra weight for me. And then I have a bag with I have a spare 9-volt battery for my microphone, and my AC plug for my camera, my charging cable for my flashlight, for my Fitbit, and for my phone. Gotta have all those cables, otherwise you can't do anything with them. So that's how we're getting by. That's how I'm getting by on power. So the Wooded Beardsman, he had a different tact. He has packed spare batteries. So he bought batteries for his camera, and he basically is not going to run out of power on this trip based on the number of batteries that he has. And I'm going to show you a clip of them here in a second. He's just behind the camera.
All right, so you're curious of what I'm using. This is what Jeremy's using. So I'm kind of curious of how many batteries I've gone through too. So these are the long life batteries that come. Did you talk about the long life batteries?
Yeah.
So we get, you didn't use this one yet?
I didn't. This is like my backup one.
Right, because you're recharging the small ones.
Yeah.
So I get about 6 hours off the big ones. So I've gone through one big one. I shoot a lot more film than Jeremy.
Yeah.
I've gone two. I put tape on there just so I know which ones I use. I've used 2 so far. The one on the camera is new. It's probably got 6 hours left on it.
Oh wow. Okay.
I can check. Let me see.
Yeah, it'll tell you, right?
Yeah.
5 hours, 22 minutes.
Yeah. 5.5 hours left on this battery. And then I have a knockoff brand which you asked about, and don't buy it.
Yeah, you said you got less time off of it.
Optica. I think it maybe get 45 minutes to an hour.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
off the knockoff brand. These are Sony brand ones.
Yeah.
And then the one that the camera comes with, I get about. I think maybe I got 2 hours off that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that one.
Okay. But less.
A lot less. Yeah, way less. Like a third of the original battery.
Yeah.
And then this is the one that it comes with, and I've used this one a lot, so it doesn't have a
as good of a charge.
So it does. I don't know what, 2.5 hours or something on the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't gone through my 3 mains. These are $250 each.
Yeah. They're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
You have $1,000 of batteries there, right?
Well, that's $750 plus. No, this one's like, this is a knockoff. It's like $100, or I think it was 2 for $45 or something. It was it was ridiculously low price. But they're noticeably. Feel how light that one is.
Oh yeah, there's a difference.
So there's a difference there. They haven't put as much juice in these ones. They made them look big. And then I have GoPro batteries. I have 4.
Yeah. And
I haven't used 2 yet.
Okay.
I haven't been using the GoPro that much. I thought I'd use it more, but I haven't.
No.
Turn it off and on real quick, and not a long run time. So if I catch a fish, I turn it on. Yeah. Otherwise, I turn it off. So that's the difference, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Your batteries, all your batteries together, are gonna weigh far less than one of these big green ones that I've hauled around. So, but we didn't know coming out here, right? We didn't know how much film we would shoot. We haven't done a 9-day off-grid trip before.
No.
The most we've done is 5, probably 5 days.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah.
We didn't know how much film we would shoot. You know, if there'd be hours and hours of footage. Something could happen that we might want to film for hours and hours, but you know, we just played it safe. At least, like I went obviously with more than I needed.
These are super heavy, by the way.
Yeah, I talked about that.
They're super heavy. Like that might weigh as much as somebody carried an ultralight trip. They're heavy. They're like bricks. Yeah. Like if you picked a brick up, that's the weight. It's a brick. It weighs as much as a brick.
About that.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the benefit I think too, which I don't know if Jeremy mentioned, is we're running the same camera. So if I had too many battery, I could lend him a battery, and you could also charge a battery if I was short. Yeah.
If he ran out, then I can just, because I can AC plug them, and we have the same charging cable, I could just charge up one of his batteries off of one of these.
Yeah. And
so these are versatile.
And I absolutely didn't want to run out of film.
No.
So I've got lots of cards too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
That covers it?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. The sash is also the second best place to hide your rum. And then you say, what's the first best place?
What's the first best place?
In your liver. So while the lentils are soaking, we have a few hours this afternoon. Make the most of them, even though we have to fight the wind a bit. We're gonna try and jig up a laker. So to do that, we've kind of got ourselves out of the main wind by fishing the lee side of the island that we're camped out on, and we're just dropping white jigs down as deep as we can on 3/8 ounce jigs, and as we get blown across the lake, then we'll just stop and paddle back and keep working our way along the shoreline that way until we find a productive spot. And even though we're trying to catch a lake trout, always scanning the hills for a bear, or a moose, or a wolf, or a caribou. You're probably wondering about the forest fires. I don't think that I've really mentioned them in a day or two. So we could see them from Haven Lake, and then we moved to Adventure, and when we left Adventure we could see them a little bit still. It looked like they had sparked back up, and when we arrived back here on Wrist Lake, there were a couple of good ones smoking away. So today the wind would be blowing from us to the fires and blowing any of their smoke away from our location, so we do not see fire smoke today. And we're also further again from where they would have been than we were a couple days ago. What kind of fish is it?
It's a log, dude.
A log fish?
If that's a fish, that's a big fish.
Yeah.
It's not. Reel up, Jerry.
I am.
Yeah, reel up.
Yeah. I'm just gonna turn the camera off for a second.
Holy fish.
Not even a head shake, eh?
No, if this is a fish, I'd be surprised.
Wow.
It's a log. It's gotta be a log, dude.
Well, the suspense is killing me.
Ah, it's a log.
Been fishing all day.
It's not even a head shake all the way in.
I've had pike do that before.
I'm ready for it if it's a pike.
Yeah.
It's coming up too high to be a pike. Not even didn't want to go down. It's a log. Gotta be a log.
It says it's a log.
I say it's a
What do you guys
log.
think?
A big, heavy, dang log. Or branch.
Oh, it's moving.
Is it? Yeah, it is moving.
It is.
Dude, it's alive.
It is
It's alive. All right, we're gonna beach this, I think.
Yeah, is it too big to...
Well, no, it's not too
here?
big. Hey, it's a fish. Dude, that was like a log the whole time. Well, we can play it off on the beach.
We are drifting. The wind's taking us right to the beach, but I don't know, like, let's just...
I don't know, let's do it in the beach.
Well, the longer you leave it on that jig, the more likely it is to shake loose.
Oh, it's on the wobbler.
Oh, it's on the big wobbler on the treble. Yeah, yeah.
This is a big fish, Jer.
I'm excited.
Flipping out now. I can see it back there now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not even.
It's not a big fish. It's
a lazy pike.
a lazy laker.
Oh,
it's a nice laker.
Alright, stay down, dude. Stay down.
Can the wooded beardsman land this laker?
Why is it?
He's been wanting one.
On me.
He's been wanting one all day, and we have put in our hours.
Oh! And right at the boat, I just lost.
Yeah, you lost the lure there on him.
Oh man!
Hey, that's a good feeling.
That's a hard-earned laker right there, man. We were about to pack it up and go eat dinner
without fish.
Now we caught dinner. That's awesome, man. We just switched up from a jig and we were on our way paddling back, and that was it, man.
That's awesome.
If we didn't get one there, that was it. That's a sweet one. It was like a log. It was not fighting. It was not doing anything the whole way in.
That's weird.
Well, we're gonna get on the beach here and then we'll take care of it.
You see the shape of the bear track. 1, 2, 3, 4 toes and a pad. A little bear. Here's another good one. That's my moccasin track. So I'm wearing my moccasins. Here you can see the toes here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a pad. So a bear walked this beach relatively recently, and also some kind of a canine. There's a pod and 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. So that's Might have been somebody's dog, but there aren't fresh people tracks here that I see except for my own moccasin tracks. More canine tracks there, so maybe a fox or a wolf. We're pretty excited about this fish. That's gonna be good. Now our Voyageur meal is gonna have some fish to go with it. Hey, Red Lake Outfitters, thank you very much. Just as we were catching that lake trout, the wind changed direction. It's coming more out of the southwest now, and with it, it's brought a whole bunch of smoke from a forest fire. And even we are seeing what a piece just fell beside me, but there are bits of ash coming down out of the sky. So that happened relatively quickly. Just a change in the wind and then back in the smoke. And so speaking of smoke, we've got some plans for that trout. Most of the details are going to be on the Wooded Beardsman's channel, so you should pop over there and check it out. And we are now also going to follow up on that Voyageur's meal that we started. So lentils have been soaking. Now we're going to put those on to cook, and we are also going to chop up some of that bacon. But first it needs a sniff check because it's been 9 days traveling, 7 days in the park, 2 days driving here. All right, if we're cooking ourselves a Voyageur supper, then maybe we should try and start it with something from the Voyageur's fire kit. Can't use a magnifying glass today because the fire smoke is blocking our view. We already used the matches, so maybe what we'll do is we'll try the flint and steel. Try it with the quartz, and I'll pull a little bit of this wax cotton out of my wax cotton ball. See if we can get this to go. Over here I've got a little tinder bundle ready, so there's really fine spruce branches and some birch bark, and I just threw a rock on it to hold it all together. So alright, try it with the Woodbeard set. Sparks, but I don't know if they'll light my cotton ball. I might need to try it with a piece of char cloth. So we have a flint, some char cloth, and a steel striker. Got here. ammunition. That's what we've got. Let's put that in this. Let's fold it up a little bit. Do you have a second piece of char cloth? Oh, I burnt up all the char cloth.
Yeah.
Before it caught my birch bark. That's disappointing.
It won't work off birch bark.
Then we have to do this. Oh, look at that, everybody. I cheated and I used my lighter. There we go. We can play around again another day. Because we have food to cook, fish to smoke, turtles to feed, and other surprises await us. Alright, so these guys have been soaking for about 6 hours. They actually got all the water and then there's not enough water in there anymore. So we are going to scoop some. Give this a little bit of a stir. And we're going to put it on to cook. There it is. The trickiest part about this is that you don't want to hit it so hard that your axe follows through and hits the rock. So I'm trying to be pretty careful about that. Alright, let's try out this bacon. What's it got? 470 calories per 100 grams. And there are 200 grams in here. That's 170. So that's almost 1,000 calories right there in that cured bacon. Smells exactly like cured bacon. There's no slime on there, no mold, no crusts, no maggots. That's been 9 days traveling at room temperature, not room temperature, outdoors temperature. And you've seen how sweaty we got. So we're gonna cut up at least one of these into little chunks for our traditional Voyageur style split pea soup. So the Voyageurs, I think I read somewhere that they were called the pork eaters because they traveled with a lot of salt pork, and salt pork is pork that's been salted down to remove the moisture so that it stores indefinitely and bacteria won't grow on it. So this isn't really exactly what I would call salt pork, because it has quite a bit less salt than probably true salt pork does, but it's going to be our stand-in for salt pork. So I'm going to cut these down to about that size, and then we'll throw them in the soup. Well, that didn't really look like much meat to go into that big pot of soup, so I'm going to cut up this other piece because we don't really have a plan for it anyway, and that'll get cut to the same size. Okay, there it is. That's all that bacon. That's 1,000 calories of bacon. It's got nice marbling, and it's going to have some salt, and I think it's going to add a lot to what would otherwise just be plain lentils. Let's put them in the pot. This is that same gull that's been hanging around, and I was just watching him. He won't do it now because he's done trying, but gulls are surface feeders, and he was trying to force himself to dive for some fish guts that are maybe 2 feet under the surface of the water, 3 feet, and he's working so hard at it, but just can't quite do it. Poor frustrated gull. Smells good. It hasn't boiled yet. skulls after some of the fish guts. And Chris put a GoPro underwater. So if you want to see some really interesting footage of the gull from underwater, picking up those fish guts, you should pop over to his channel. Warming up the cabbage.
Warming up cabbage.
Giving it a stir.
That doesn't sound right. Warming up cabbage.
Well, that's what you're doing. Apple cabbage.
Apple cabbage.
Oh, it's already boiling. It's hot. There's our lentils. We're going to dish this up in a moment. Alright. Here's the Voyageur soup. Oh, I almost poured down my moccasins. The split peas or the yellow lentils with the bacon and the red cabbage. We actually already did all this once and the volume wasn't on, so if we don't sound original,
I'm gonna pretend that
we're gonna pretend that we hadn't tried this yet.
Oh, like, oh, it's gonna be good or not good. I don't know.
I don't know about this either. Let's try.
Bacony and lentil-y.
Just the right amount of salt, but maybe it could use a bit more. We like it. The cabbage, it's like pow, punch in the mouth. You want to see the cabbage? Again, it's all purple and red. Cabbage apple. It's very, very flavorful, really vinegary, and a bunch of other flavors. It was heavy to carry around. If you were doing a shorter trip with less carrying, I think for sure it would be worthwhile as a meal addition. It just adds a lot of flavor. And that's our day. We're not eating fish with this meal. We have fish going on to smoke, the lake trout that we caught earlier. We're going out to catch lake trout again as soon as the wind dies down, because we've been fighting the wind for 7 days. And we like to wait for it to stop. Now, there will be more episodes, more adventures. There are adventures preceding this one. We're in Woodland, Caribou Provincial Park. We've been catching and eating fish every day, putting together different meals, Paleolithic style, traditional voyageur, light foods, heavy foods. Everything's been good. Was there anything you didn't like?
No.
Good foods. Good scenery. Some animals. Lots of forest fire action. And a huge crazy weather event. So, hope you had a chance to watch them all. I'll see you on the next one.
I can't loosen off too much.
No, you having trouble with your drag?
Yeah, well, I loosened it off, but I loosened it too much.
We were trying to figure out how many fish we've eaten on this trip, and then while we were counting, bam!
Bam!
I'm just going to turn the camera off for a second and reel in. I'll just leave it running right here for now.
Let's leave it running.
So 3 in this spot, basically. This has been our most productive little zone.
Coming quick.
Okay.
It's really died off. It's got no spunk left.
No?
Almost there. It's the nightcapper laker. Oh, that's got some life now.
Yeah.
Not yet. Ah, what's it doing? Just coming for a walk. Oh, now it sees the boat. Oh, is it a pike? It is a pike.
Ah.
Dirty.
Ah.
Come on.
Poor Woodbeard.
That sucker's not coming off either. That's why it didn't feel right. Oh, and it's got the trebles in there.
I've got my pliers.
This is no way to end the evening. Stupid dirty pike. Shouldn't say too many bad things about pike. You should eat pike if you come to Woodland Caribou. Eat them. There's nothing wrong with eating pike.
There's nothing wrong with pike.
We can just catch pike whenever we want.
Yeah.